Everyone, welcome to my Minecraft Let's Play. I'm just kidding. In this video, I'm going to be going over my top 7 tips for Roblox trading in 2025. So for the first tip I'll give you guys is to use Roblox extensions. Some of these are super useful, and I personally only use one, which is roblox, but there are many other useful ones out there. Roblox shows you the total values in a trade if you're winning or losing, like this trade on screen for example, or if an item being sent to you is projected or not. You also need to make sure that when you download an extension that it is the right one and it will not steal your account information, so typically check with some other people before you download it. And my second tip is how to check if an item might be poisoned. If you go to the item's UAID page that you're trying to trade for, UAID page is basically the exact copy of an item, in case you didn't know. If there's a lot of users below the current one that are banned accounts, or their account looks like they got beamed, chances are that those items could be poisoned and you should avoid trading for them, because owning a poison item can get you banned on Roblox, regardless if you had anything to do with it being poisoned or not. My next tip is learning how proofs work. Proofs are only in the Rollimons Discord and basically are what people post to try and get an item to raise in value. You also can use proofs to see what certain items get in trades, so like if you search for 8-bit roll crown for example and look through a couple of its proofs, you can see that recently some people have been giving 5 to 6k on it, so you should try to look for around the same value in a trade. This helps maximize how much you can get and make off trading an item. The fourth tip of the video is declining old outbound trades. This is super important, especially if you have an item that's about to raise in value. If you leave trades outbound and leave your computer whenever you're done trading, if an item that you've sent out raises, someone can still accept that trade and you'll miss out on some value that you could have had, but instead someone accepted a worse trade for you and you missed out on some value that you potentially could have made extra on. I tend to cancel my outbound trades after I have to get off trading or have to go somewhere, go do something, go to sleep, just so nothing happens while I'm offline that I'm not aware of. The next tip is to learn what downgrading and upgrading items means. These words are pretty simple to learn and there's nothing too complicated about them. First, downgrading is when you have one item and you're trading it for 2, 3, or 4, or even more items, hence why it's called downgrading. But typically, you also will be the person in the trade that will be getting the overpay, since you're the one downgrading it. You're taking more items, but you're getting more value back. As for upgrading, it's the complete opposite of downgrading, where you're trading 2 to 4 plus items for 1 or 2 items, depending on how big the trade is, typically into bigger items. And in this scenario, you would be the one overpaying for their items. Alright, and the 6th tip in the video is learning how projected items work. Projecting an item typically happens when someone pays a really high price for an item that isn't worth that much. Like if someone, Wessie Trades, buys a gold row for 10,000 Robux, it would shoot up the wrap from its normal 200 or whatever it is to like 1,000 wrap, basically faking how much the item is really worth. Some people take this to the absolute extreme, like Beach House Fedora, which got projected from 25,000 to 2.5 million wrap. All items on the Rollimons website that are projected should have a projected tag on them, so make sure to check those items before you trade for them. And to be honest, typically just avoid trading for projected items altogether, as especially today, they're super hard to trade off. And for the final tip of the video, it will be learning how to tell if an item is about to drop or raise in value. And it really isn't too hard to tell on majority of items, so I'll use 8-bit roll crown for example. As you can see, the value on it right now is 28,000. If the wrap on this item was to go to the next value, which would be 30,000, then the item will likely raise to 30k value. On the flip side, if the item's wrap is the next lowest value, which would be 26,000, then the item would lower to 26,000 value. If it's in between, like above 26k but below 30k, it should be fine, and it should stay stable. But then again, just keep paying attention to it in case you need to quickly trade it off for some reason. Now that only applies to items that are worth under 100,000 value, and as for items worth over 100,000, they're a bit harder to predict, and it's basically all dependent on proofs in the Rollymon's Discord. And if an item's getting really good overpays or it's doing badly and getting lowballed in trades that are posted in proofs, they'll raise or drop it depending on how well or poorly it's doing. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you found this video helpful in any way, please drop a like and subscribe. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments. I'd be glad to try and help you all out. I'm going to try and be live a bit more often now, so be sure to join the Discord link below to see when I'm going live, or for any other videos, or even be a part of my next video. Anyway, thanks for watching.